We're going to give this another shot. We're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to record the correct screen at the same time. That's talent, guys. There's a lot of good info to talk about today, so before we get started, hit subscribe and hopefully like the video as well. Many of you already know that I've been watching for this large running flat structure here. Today we're going to talk about what a running flat is, where it forms, how it fits into a trend, and why I really don't want to break these levels. It's possible that our low is already in right here. This could be our low. We're making a series of higher lows here. We've broken the downtrend that you see here already. But I'm actually in a small short. It's very common that we at least retest the lows or have some other consolidation in here before truly moving up. I'm watching the 4 hour. If MACD flips positive on the 4 hour, there's a good chance that this move is complete. We would have a near miss here, flipping to the red side, which gives us an A, B, C for B right here, and a C down. Gives us a completed structure for correction. For now, I'm operating under the assumption that this is going to hold as a higher low, but it is very possible that we break down one more time, and I just would like to see us maintain these. Primarily this one, but it would be ideal to maintain this one as well. Let's talk about time here. We've been in this structure. If the low is in, we've been in this structure for 20 days. If it's not, we're looking at least 23 days, 24 days. That's a pretty solid time for a continuation structure to the upside. So let's talk a little bit about what a running flat is. I've studied Elliott waves for many years. I used to be very religious about counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in every single thing that I could. Overall, it ends up looking something like this when you have a perfect impulsive Elliott wave count. Today, I don't do that. I don't try to count in advance. I've been burned too many times thinking, okay, wave 5 is in, I can close my long, and it ends up being a subwave of a subwave before the larger move up. What I do instead, I simply watch for the trend. If we look over at price, you get a low, a high, higher low, high, higher low. So that's what we are looking at on an Elliott wave move or an impulsive move. After an impulse, we make a corrective wave. So I watched the trend. We had a local trend right here. That broke, made a corrective wave behind it. Let's take some of this off real quick. I'm going to overlap these for the sake of time. You see we had an impulse, a correction, another impulse. This move by itself made a new trend. The low here, higher low here. If we extend that line, that gives us a trend that broke right here. And we made a large corrective wave behind that. So realistically, now we're looking at something like this. We have an impulse, a corrective wave, and now we're looking for an impulse out of it. Time-wise, we've already matched the time of this one. However, it's very clear in the subwaves that we have an impulse and a correction forming behind it. And not only that, in our corrective move, we're continuing to make higher lows. You can see this a little better on a lower time frame. All of these structures have made higher lows. Higher low, higher low, higher low. Higher low, higher low, higher low. If we go back to previous Bitcoin moves, this is very common to have a trending structure. So notice in this one here, we had a subwave right here, and we took out that low, just barely. But this is the primary higher low here, which is why I suggest that it would be okay if we take out this low, but I really don't want to take out this low here. And even stronger would be maintaining this low as well. This pattern is not just a coincidence. This pattern happens all the time. In here we have a similar pattern. It didn't make the higher high, like this. Higher low led to higher high. But it maintained the higher lows throughout before moving up. Continued here. Finally, we broke the series of higher lows right here with both lower highs and lower lows. And that's when our trend was over. For now, we don't have this. We broke the trend line here as well. Right now we have nothing that shows that our trend is over. We have this move, a corrective move, an impulse out of it. Therefore, our primary trend line at this time is from here to here. That's a new uptrend. And as long as we maintain this uptrend line in the higher lows, we should assume continuation. Time-wise, this one right here, this pattern right here, took 21 days. This pattern back here, somewhere between 21, 24 days. This pattern right here, depends how you measure this. If we take this high right here and pull it to this low here, 21 days. The likelihood that we have a completed structure right here making higher lows is pretty good. It's pretty strong that that's the case. If we go look at Ethereum, we had a series here. For me, it's possible that this series is broken. You see, we broke this uptrend right here. It's very possible that this is just the first wave of correction. In that case, how much time would we expect? 21 days. 21 days of correction from this pivot. Somewhere in here. So we're talking until September 5th, approximately 2 weeks. I think it's very possible that we get 2 weeks of Bitcoin expansion while majors such as Ethereum, Litecoin, and others make a corrective move. Litecoin had a correction here, moved up out of it. Is this the first wave of a new correction? This one isn't the same in the fact that it didn't break this trend. This local trend was broken, but we have a trend line here that was not. So this one was, the larger trend was not. But it is very possible that Litecoin does the same thing. EOS. I talked about EOS last week. I mentioned we could have an A, B, C, and then another move down. But what it actually did was make a corrective move here and impulsed out. For me, because we impulsed out of this, we need an A, B, C corrective move here. So there's many majors that look like they may not run straight from here. But Bitcoin looks primed. Bitcoin's already been in this sideways structure for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. A while back I did a video and I talked about ShipPerp. I said ShipPerp has already been in this sideways structure. Look at this, 19 days, 20 days. From this structure, we impulsed out. I think it might be Bitcoin's time to shine, and it's time to be wary of that. You want to have exposure to Bitcoin when Bitcoin starts expansion. If you see Bitcoin start expanding and you think, oh, Ethereum is lagging, Ethereum's going to catch up, be very wary of that mindset. Let's go back to Bitcoin real quick. Let's talk about timeline. Has it ever happened where Bitcoin topped before the other moves, the other alts, where Bitcoin has come up like this, but another has not? So I'm suggesting Bitcoin tops over here. Ignore time, but I'm going to match my time to this, approximately at least. See, my drawing shows December, and it shouldn't take this long. It shouldn't take till December to reach this high. But this is what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting a massive extension from Bitcoin. When it pulls back, Ethereum, Litecoin, and others are simply finishing a corrective move before a final impulse. This happened at the all-time high. Bitcoin all-time high occurred approximately 4 weeks before Ethereum's all-time high. We could see the same thing happen here as Bitcoin tests near closest to the all-time high it's ever seen. I expect this move to be massive. I expect it to be similar growth to what we saw here. This was a major move up. The fifth wave or final wave was even more impulsive, stronger, covered more territory. I believe we'll see the same thing here. These moves will look small compared to the final Bitcoin move. It could test 17, 18,000. We would see majors lag because so much money is flowing into Bitcoin during this move. As Bitcoin pulls back, we see an opportunity to buy majors on the dip. How would this look on Ethereum versus Bitcoin? This would give us a massive flat here. Right back into support before a major move up. Have we ever seen a move like this? Look at Lind. Lind did a very similar move. ABC flat before a massive move up. We've even seen this on Bitcoin before. This right here was a corrective move. Again, we have correction after an impulse, impulse, correction, impulse. This is a massive correction. Took 95 days. We currently don't have anything like that on the Bitcoin chart. I'm not suggesting this move just yet. I'm suggesting we're in a subwave of this in here or in here. And we should see more like this in the future, especially on Ethereum. I believe Ethereum over the next few years will outpace Bitcoin. I think Ethereum will see this, while Bitcoin sees more like this before larger upside. Don't get me wrong, I still expect major expansion from Bitcoin as well. But I believe we have an opportunity in front of us where it's time to buy Bitcoin. I want you to have exposure to Bitcoin. I'm still going to have exposure to Litecoin, Ethereum, Meta, MTA. MTA has done me dirty, but it's one that I think will really fly, absolutely fly. So I want exposure to those. But I'm not going to miss out on Bitcoin exposure. And if Bitcoin is moving faster than these other altcoins, I will not hesitate to increase my position on Bitcoin while ignoring my positions on the alts. All right, guys, I think that's everything I've got today. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. I try not to be here for, hey, up or down. Just know that if we do start breaking these levels, I start getting a little concerned. Otherwise, it's up and up and up and up. With Bitcoin being my primary focus this moment. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Drop me a comment or shoot me a message on Twitter if you have any questions at all.